the rematch will be no different. It'll just be a snooze fest. So I don't understand why. I see people saying, "Man, I want to see Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather. I want to see Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather, man." Like, why you guys get so hyped over that? I don't understand. I don't understand. Were you guys entertained by the first fight? Like, the only time I want to see a rematch is if the first fight was entertaining. Like, if the first fight was so much fun to watch. Am I the only person that really is not interested in watching Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Manny Pacquiao? A lot of people I've seen, well, not a lot, but a few boxing channels making videos, talking about the whole Mayweather versus Pacquiao because some type of footage came out of Floyd in Saudi Arabia or something talking about Pacquiao, and then he comes out in fight hype, and he tells them that video that y'all been seeing is false because I went to Saudi Arabia. I went there a long time ago. I talked to them about me fighting there all right. Then he basically says that video was from the past, and I guess before the first Pacquiao versus Mayweather fight, and that he's not actually going to be fighting Manny Pacquiao. And he says right here, even if we did fight, all they're going to do is have an excuse, just like the first time. But as far as me and Manny Pacquiao, as of right now, there will never be a rematch. Okay. So, as you can see, he says that even if they did fight, there would be an excuse. Now, I really don't want them to have a rematch. You know what I'm saying? I don't want Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Jr. to have a rematch because, well, first of all, I don't really think it will be that fair for the fact that Floyd Mayweather Jr. hasn't fought in a proper boxing match since September of 2015. I mean, the last time he actually had a boxing match was when he fought Andre Berto in 2015. And I don't count his fight over Conor McGregor because Conor McGregor was having his professional debut against Floyd Mayweather Jr. in a money fight, so if that was not really a fight. I mean, you're fighting a guy who's making his professional debut, and then he fought that Japan fighter in Japan, but I don't count that fight either. Okay, so he really hasn't fought in 4 years. So it's kind of unfair for Mayweather to be fighting Pacquiao, who, even though they're the same age, Pacquiao's been actively fighting. Dudes. He just fought Keith Thurman, but he's been active in these past 4 years. Mayweather hasn't, and the first fight was terrible. The first fight, I think, helped killed boxing a little bit because the first fight was getting so much hype, and then the fight happened, and it was a snooze fest. So I think it kind of helped killed boxing for a bit because of how lackluster the fight was. The rematch will be no different. It'll just be a snooze fest. So I don't understand why. I see people saying, "Man, I want to see Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather. I want to see Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather, man." Like, why you guys get so hyped over that? I don't understand. Were you guys entertained by the first fight? Like, the only time I want to see a rematch is if the first fight was entertaining. Like, if the first fight was so much fun to watch, then I have no problem watching a rematch. Okay? I'm excited for Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua because the first fight was exciting. I'm excited for even Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz because the first fight was exciting. If I heard Keith Thurman versus what's his name, Sean Porter, is gonna happen later on this year, I would be excited because the first fight was exciting. But when it comes to Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Jr., their styles are not appealing when they fight. Like, you saw how entertaining Manny Pacquiao looked when he fought Keith Thurman, but that was because Keith Thurman has a totally different style, and he fought a style that suited Manny Pacquiao for his fight. Manny Pacquiao is in exciting fights when he fights a certain style, okay? When dudes come at him and they let their hands go, that's when you see Manny Pacquiao in exciting fights. But Mayweather is always been a defensive fighter, and Mayweather was never gonna fight Pacquiao toe to toe. And if they were to fight again in a rematch, he hasn't even fought in 4.5 years. He's gonna be even more. You thought he was defensive the first time; he'll be even more defensive in the rematch. And like I said, I don't think he'll just jump in a Pacquiao fight. He'll take a little tune-up fight. These guys are just, especially Floyd is an over. He's already an over the hill fighter. He's made. I think he's a billionaire. Isn't he not the first boxer billionaire? I believe he is. So I don't think I never thought these dudes were gonna fight to begin with. But for some reason, people still love the idea of Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather when the first fight was such a dull fight to watch. I don't understand why people are so intrigued. Maybe it's just Manny Pacquiao fans who really want to see Mayweather lose and now since he's been so inactive, they'll feel like, okay, Pacquiao could beat him. And I know some people have been saying, yeah, Pacquiao will beat him. Styles make fights. I understand Pacquiao looked amazing against Keith Thurman, but styles make fights. Mayweather would win again in a snooze fest. All right, I just personally don't want to see this rematch, man. And I hope they stay retired, man. I really do. That's just my opinion on the Manny Pacquiao versus, Floyd Mayweather Jr. saga. All right, guys.